Hello, today I'll be demoing the mathematics use case for VivaEdu, where I will essentially be attaching a self-recorded Q&A Viva to an existing Learn Ultra assignment here for all students in the cohort to complete after they submit to that assignment. Perhaps this is a formative, perhaps bi-weekly assignment. I've chosen one on fluid mechanics here. And so this also works for Gradescope, but given I do not have a Gradescope student account, I'll just be using the regular assignment here instead. So let's create a Viva. So as you can see here, it's defaultly hidden from students. So let's open it up here. Now this is the place where I can choose an option. Now we don't want to choose this one because this is for more misconduct use cases, like creating a singular Q&A based on a student submission to an assignment. But given this is for a assignment that no students have currently submitted to, and it's not visible yet, and that I want it to be for all students, this is best for course-wide understanding verification. So I will choose this mode here. Now it fetches all the Learn Ultra assignments. Here it is, the fluid mechanics homework. So you can see here that it's linked to this LMS assignment. Here's the assignment due date. Let's set it the same as the fetch due date for that appended assignment. Now, as you can see here, back here, this homework was actually hidden from students. And essentially we can have it so where the corresponding linked Viva is only published when its linked assignment becomes visible to students. So it then gets essentially delayed until it's published when it's visible for students. Here's the late submission window. So next, let's go to the Viva configuration. For the interest of time, we'll choose the quick Viva. And let's reduce the number of questions to 2. We have 60 seconds of preparation time and 90 seconds of recording time. This is the question builder. Now, first let's go to the context cards here. We have the option to make it so that students are able to see their submission to that Blackboard Learn Ultra assignment during the Viva. Now let's just select that here, as that's really crucial for some Q&As where, as it requires students to articulate their thinking on the spot, it's really best if they have the context of the work that they have submitted in order to reference. We can also add some other readable files too. So let's choose some from the course, like the formula sheet. Looks good. Let's title it formula sheet, and we will reference this during the Viva itself. So now let's create some questions. Let's do a video prompt. All right, so let's start recording. So for the question about velocity, for your expression for the dynamic pressure, which step in your work depended on the upstream conditions, and how would your final result change if the upstream flow were non-uniform? Perfect. Let's upload and generate the transcript for this. So just while we wait, this is the homework file here that we are basically doing this Viva for. So let's see the transcript generated. Now, I actually don't want this to show to students. So let's just apply this to the question. As you can see here, it shows as a video prompt. Now let's add another question here. For this time, we will just type it out. I've got one saved here for time-saving purposes. It's about the stagnation points. We can add an image or a video here as well. We can also add follow-up questions as well, like an if this, then that. But that's one for another video perhaps. As for now, I'm quite happy with that, so let's proceed. This is the step 5 student accommodation and assessment settings. Up here we have the percentage of students that will be taking this Viva. I've got it at 100%. We have the Viva wide accommodations. These apply to all students. So every single student here gets one re-recording attempt. Here we can apply specific accommodations for specific students. So for Jex Pierce, let's give him, well, he's already got 25% extra time. We can also give him some accommodations here as well, and the language configuration. We can also provide an extension to, let's give him 1 extra day. Right, so looks good. We can also do an optional rubric here, but for now, let's just confirm and publish. So perfect. Now let's go back to Blackboard Learn Ultra. So let's actually switch this to be visible to the students. Perhaps it's been a few days and I want students to see this. So now that it's visible for students, while we wait, let's just go through the dashboard here. We have the Blackboard assignment here fetched from Learn Ultra. We have the link to Viva here. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry, we have the Blackboard assignment here, and linked is the Viva. Now, if we reload the page, we can see here that it is now visible, given that I made this visible to students back here. We can click it to edit numerous parts of the Viva here as well. And in the left-hand side, we have the active Vivas as well as the activity feed. And we can also see some tips as well. For example, I can see here that the students will get a preparation phase, some guides on how to write questions for STEM problem solving, some tutorials here as well. But for now, let's get to it. If we reload the page, we can see that an announcement was now posted, given that it detected that it is now visible for students. This is posted to all students who receive the Viva along with the instructors. And perfect, we also get an LTI injected link down here right after where the assignment was placed. So enough talking, let's switch to the student preview. We also get the announcement. Let's submit to the assignment. In normal instances, you could submit to Gradescope as well. It would work the same. Perfect, that's my homework there. I'll just wait for it to convert so we can take a look. So that's my submission. Let's submit. Now I see the LTI link here. Let's open it up. I want to open this in a new tab, but I can also do it here from the iframe. So here we go. We have the asynchronous Q&A for the fluid mechanics homework. Now, using the preparation space, as you can see here, this is kind of like an open notes area. It's like a safe space where there's no recording, there's no time limit, and the notepad here is accessible in the Viva itself. I can return to this as many times as I like, and as you can see, I have the fetch submission from Blackboard Learn Ultra. I also have the context cards available, like the formula sheet here, showing a lot of scary formulas for fluid dynamics. On the left-hand side, I have the notepad. I can use speech to text if I want. This allows me to just jot down my thoughts. And I see this during the Viva. This is visible. Perfect. So let's go and begin the Viva. Oh, one last thing, I'm also able to access a tutorial demo as well to prepare myself. Additionally, I have a test tutorial Viva here I can do as well, but in the interest of time, let's just begin. So in the Viva configuration screen here, do a test tone, I can do a practice question, a mic check, and see the Viva details. Looks good. Let's begin. So I'm able to see my Blackboard submission here in this pre-question space, my formula sheet, and also my notepad. As you can see, this is saved from before, and I'm also able to do the speech to text here as well. Perfect, let's begin. This is like this little pre-question 1 space. I have 60 seconds. So for the question about velocity, for your expression for the dynamic pressure, which step in your work depended on the upstream conditions, and how would your final result change if the upstream flow were non-uniform? Okay, so the question is asking me about the upstream conditions. Let me look at my submission here. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm going to try my best, but here's my question here about the stagnation point. And I'll need the formula sheet as well for this. So during the recording itself, I'm also able to see the video during the recording. But let's get answering to the question. So in the derivation, the step where I express the dynamic pressure as proportional to the difference between the total and static pressure depended on assuming a uniform upstream condition, because that defines the reference total pressure, as we can see here in the formula sheet for the vector identities. And if the upstream flow were non-uniform, the local total pressure would vary along the streamline, and my expression for dynamic pressure would need to include that spatial variation rather than treating it as a constant. Okay, happy with that. So I can do a re-record if I want, but let's just submit and continue.
Why do stagnation points correspond to a maximum pressure in a flow field? And how does this relate to the conversion between kinetic and pressure energy?
Okay.
This formula sheet.
So it's asking about maximum pressure in the flow field. Well, that's a good question. I do know that at the stagnation point, local velocity goes to 0 at stag point. What else do I know? Well, since the total energy along a streamline is constant, the kinetic energy is fully converted into pressure energy. Yeah, so I believe that's what I used here. All right, let's begin. So at a stagnation point, the local velocity goes to 0. Since the total energy along the streamline is constant, the kinetic energy is fully converted into pressure energy, as we can see in the vector identity number 6. It's essentially the point where all the dynamic energy is stopped and manifests as static pressure. All right, so let's submit the Viva. And let's return to the dashboard. So just a little look around the student side. I've got the classes here, the settings and preferences. I also have access to a calendar as well. Now let's go and see our review. So on the student side, I'm able to see the speech to text transcript as well as listen to the audio. I'm also able to see, I'm not allowed to see the video, but I can provide a clarification comment such as my Wi-Fi went out. So let's return back to Learn Ultra and switch into the instructor view again. So a folder pops up here with the Viva transcripts to save even more time on the instructor's side, as perhaps I do not have time to watch hundreds of students' videos and I just want the speech to text transcript. That would be the best way to see it there. While we wait for that to propagate in, let's just go and see what the video responses were like. So in the activity feed here, we can view it. We can also just view it here in the review queue. So here I'm able to see the student submission. and play the video. I'm also able to see the video during the recording. But let's get answering to the question. So in the derivation, the step where I express the dynamic pressure as... Okay, looks good. I can see the question that I asked. So for the question about velocity, I can see the comment, the submission. I can jump around based on the timestamps. And my expression for... And I can provide a grade as well. I can also add rubric columns here too, record video feedback, or just write feedback. Next question. This was the regular text question. So at a stagnation point, the local velocity goes to 0. You get the idea. Looks good. All right, so here we can just export the grades easily, just for this individual one. But once all the students submit to this Viva Q&A, it's actually exported as a zip to the instructor's email, saving even more time here. So